at the new Freedom 96.9. No fake news, no crybabies, no snowflakes, just our commitment to let freedom ring. We're the new Freedom 96.9 and freedom969.com, Oklahoma's talk radio. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. This afternoon will be mostly sunny, pleasant, and less humid with a high of 75. A beautiful start to the weekend. Tonight, expect clear skies early, then increasing clouds with a low of 57. Tomorrow will bring plenty of clouds in the morning, then times of sun and clouds in the afternoon, reaching a high of 80. On Monday, anticipate sun through high clouds with a high of 81. Tuesday will be breezy in the morning, otherwise mostly sunny with a high of 84. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station.
Broadcasting live from the command center of Freedom 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma. Saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with Hague Certified Master Level Damage Inspector, Oklahoma Licensed Public Adjuster, Fortified Evaluator, and IBHS Fortified Roofing Contractor, Scott McCullum.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Also here is Hague Certified Roofing Inspector Scotty McCullum.
Remember, dual certified now.
Let me add that to the script here. Dual certified.
And good morning.
Residential and commercial. Retro Radio Randy is running the show today. He's still on probation, so we're not going to let him talk yet. But you can talk to him when you call 405-608-4377. We are live streaming today on the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel. You can also hear us on freedom969.com. We'll start as usual with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week. The number again to answer the trivia question or to just ask a question, 405-608-4377. Later we'll hear Scotty's view from the rooftop. And we'll have some after the storm tips brought to you by Roof RX, and we'll wrap up with Dad's wisdom. Coming back from breaks, of course, we'll have some genuinely obscure historical trivia. Now, guys, I took a hearing test yesterday. I had to get my hearing aids tuned up. And you know the hearing test, you know the one, you're wearing the uncomfortable headphones, and you,
Not
you,
your
you
fancy
react.
Sonys.
Pardon?
Not your fancy Sonys.
No, not at all. And you have to react when you hear the tones and the beeps and stuff. Well, after a couple of minutes of this, the audiologist says to me in a low, quiet voice, remember to say that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. Raise your hand if you heard that. Now,
Was that loud enough for the FCC to clear us on this show?
we'll find out. We'll find out later.
Oh, wow. Man, I tell you what, you can't go anywhere, can you?
I really can't. Just the places.
The price of notoriety.
Yeah, it really. Yeah. Well, the price of doing business with McRoof.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, let's get going with our trivia question, shall we? Now,
Man,
folks,
they got to listen close.
listen
don't
carefully, and this is only an hour-long show, so listen up.
All right. If you build a fortified high wind and hail designated roof, which of the following benefits will you definitely receive? A, reduced property insurance rates. B, enhanced wind resistance. C, ability to withstand hail greater than 2.5 inches. D, increased peace of mind. Now here's where it gets tricky. E, answers A and C, which again, that is reduced property insurance rates and ability to withstand hail greater than 2.5 inches. Or F, B and D, which is enhanced wind resistance and increased peace of mind. So there you go. Good luck, folks.
Oh, my goodness gracious. If you think you're awake enough to understand that,
Remember, he said definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You know how
I'm
they
struggling with this one.
They always say if you don't know the answer, it's always C.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give them something they really had to think about.
There you go.
So.
If you think you know the answer to that or just want to give a good guess at it, 405-608-4377. The winner will get their choice of 3 choices, actually 4, choice of 2 books, Raving Fans or Unreasonable Hospitality, or a Lowe's $25 gift card, or 2 free tickets to any Carpenter Square Theater production this season that opens this coming Friday night with a beautiful play called Intimate Apparel. And yes, you'll see a lady in a corset. Now, it is 1905, so you won't see much. And there are bloomers.
Oh, wow.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful, heartwarming play. So the question again, if you build a fortified high wind and hail designated roof, which of the following benefits would you definitely receive? A, reduced property insurance rates. B, enhanced wind resistance. C, ability to withstand hail greater than 2.5 inches. D, increased peace of mind. Or E, A and C, which is the property rates in the big hail. Or F, B and D, which is the enhanced wind resistance and the increased peace of mind. That's a tongue twister.
A test rider, I'm not.
40, yeah, no doubt. 405-608-4377.
Oh, wow.
All right, Scotty.
Well, Rick, I would have rather read the trivia question than this definition
than the
because
word
I'm
of the week.
not quite sure what this piece of paper he shoved my way is.
Cold read on the word of the week, Scotty. What is it?
Indeed. Intransitive.
Collaboration.
Okay, well, that's what happens.
There you go.
Well, I have collaboration on my sheet.
Yeah, he has collaboration. He's got it.
Collaboration. To cooperate with an agency or instrumentality with which one is not immediately connected.
Boy, that's a...
I'm going to give you a really basic, real practical example.
Okay.
An example sentence. The contractor and the adjuster, well, this is not collaboration. This is a form of collaboration. Collaborated to get the customer a settlement on their roof claim.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. Collaboration. Working together.
Working together, yeah.
Working together.
Partnering to work together.
And can you please show me on the sheet where it says collaboration?
Oh, well, right. To cooperate with or willingly assist an enemy of one's country and especially an occupying force. Ooh, that sounds pretty bad, right?
Yeah, that's more of a diplomatic.
That's like treasonous. To cooperate with the agency or the instrumentality and to work jointly with others together, especially in an intellectual endeavor or to improve some situation.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, there you go.
That's awfully high-minded.
That's kind of deep.
Is.
That's kind of deep for an 8 a.m. Saturday roof radio show.
Well, okay. Well, we talk about collaboration all the time because we talk about the collaboration within our industry. We talk about the collaboration in terms of all of our legislation and our code officials and the things that we're doing there. We talk about collaborating with institutions like IBHS Fortified, Institute for Business and Home Safety. So there's collaboration in everything that we do. You gave the real-life example of you or one of the folks meeting an adjuster on site to collaborate to try to accomplish the desired outcome, the appropriate outcome for one of our mutual clients. So that's collaboration. Okay.
Indeed.
Not to be confused with collusion.
Collusion.
Which is, I guess, a subset of collaboration.
That's a whole different set of issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's using your power for evil.
Yes, Mr. Professor.
For lack of better words, yes.
All right, so in the couple of minutes we have left, what happened in your week this past week? You had some nice weather?
Beautiful weather. We got a lot of work done outside,
Good.
unlike the last few weeks where it's
Yeah.
been intermittently rainy,
Yeah.
or in some cases, in recent weeks, very rainy, very consistently.
I hear you got a fortified build knocked out.
Did we?
We did. We got a fortified build knocked out this week. We got a number of jobs done. We got a lot of stuff done that has been kind of backing up for us, and we've had some help, some collaboration from some of our friends. We have kind of drawn in some other forces from a production standpoint to help us out. We've been doing training on new crews. In fact, I'm leaving here this morning to go train 2 new crews on
Fortified.
on IBHS Fortified installation.
Nice.
And we'll be doing that in the warehouse here this morning, and they will be out for the first time on a fortified roof for McRoof next week. So
Okay.
Very good. And we've got a roof going on today, don't we?
We are finishing a roof today. We have we started 2 roofs yesterday, finished one of them. The second one did not quite get done, so it's being finished up this morning. So yeah, so it's been a great week from a production standpoint, badly needed on our part, and on our clients' part. Glad to get those taken care of, and we have got a jam-packed September. We have some big fortified roofs, some steep redeck fortified roofs that
Some
will be
tough
being
ones.
done in the next few weeks. We've got some roofs over 100 squares, which are more than twice as the average, that are replacement roofs that will be done late in September. Those roofs are very difficult in nature. Because of the way you have to traverse and traffic all over those roofs, there's a lot of potential for damage, marring to the shingle surface as we're actually doing the installation. So by necessity almost, we're blessed that we have this cooler weather and that we have
hope
the
it
ability
stays.
we hope it stays. We have the ability to get on these roofs. We intentionally put them in late September or October for that reason. So,
Okay.
anyway.
All right. So before we go to break, I just want to remind everybody what the trivia question is.
Good luck.
We're talking about fortified roofs. So if you build a fortified high wind and hail designated roof, which of the following benefits would you definitely receive? A, reduced property insurance rates. B, enhanced wind resistance. C, ability to withstand hail greater than 2.5 inches. D, increased peace of mind. Or E, combo of A and C, the property insurance rates and the large hail. Or F, combo of B and D, the enhanced wind resistance and the increased peace of mind. If you think you know the answer, give us a call, 405.
And if you're just confused,
I have a new
call us
word of-
anyway.
I have a new word of the week, Rick.
What's
It's doozy.
I like it. 405-608-4377. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma live on Saturday morning, Freedom 96.9. We'll have obscure historical trivia when we come back.
This is Chris Guanera, CEO of Blue Falcon Aerial. We're proud to partner with McRoof.us to enhance the Roof RX program. McRoof.us already has a trusted, proven system, and we're here to add an extra layer of precision with crystal clear drone imagery using the state-of-the-art Mavic 3 series. With our background in the surveying industry and as drone instructors at Francis Tuttle, we know accuracy. Our documentation supports McRoof's certified professionals so they can make the best recommendations for your roof, saving lives and protecting property, one roof at a time. Roof RX, where technology meets technical competence.
They deal with the insurance company for you, which is so nice and helpful.
One of the most important things that I prioritize is setting the right expectation, what they can expect from their insurance carrier, what ducks need to be lined up to make sure their project reaches the outcome that they desire.
I'm on the phone most of the day, talking with insurance companies, trying to resolve a claim that has not been paid correctly. We don't give up.
They were able to come out and give a full, in-depth inspection. That process ultimately led to a doubling of the claim.
He probably got me, at least on this roof, $50,000 more by my calculation than I would have gotten with the other roofers.
It goes far beyond what a normal roofing company would do. We're going to do it right.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the second segment of today's show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. Here are some obscure historical trivia. On this date in 1716, the first lighthouse in North America was built in Boston Harbor. 1716. On this date in 1819, 100 years later, American inventor Thomas Blanchard invented the lathe. Scott, did you ever do any woodworking?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever turn a post on a lathe?
Yes, sir.
Well, you can thank Thomas Blanchard. On this date in 1819, he invented that sucker.
I used to love the smells, all the different, every wood had a different smell to it.
Yes, it
was just,
We'll get to Scotty's view from the rooftop here
Hey,
in a
I
little
got to
bit.
ask you a question.
Okay.
1716, first lighthouse is built in North America. I'm going to have to go back through my archives and look at all the sheets you've given me.
Yeah.
Because I think we had that question before, or that trivia before.
I'm sure we've had something similar to it. Whatever the website says, that's what I go for. I don't do extensive research on this. I go to a website.
I'm going to have to go back and check.
And by the way, Rick's question was worded North America because obviously,
okay.
Yeah,
1716.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no America known as the United States
North
or
America.
the colonies or anything like that.
Okay.
All right, our good friend Benny is on the phone. Benny, you want to take a shot at the trivia question?
I sure do, fellas.
Okay.
I'm gonna venture a guess right here. Okay. I'm going to say Benny's going to get it wrong. Wrong. All right, buddy.
I got a 50-50 shot.
You got a 50-50
right.
shot.
Well,
So
Benny,
let's
let me restate the question for the folks who happen to just tune in. If you build a fortified high wind and hail designated roof, which of the following benefits would you definitely receive? A, reduced property insurance rates. B, enhanced wind resistance. C, ability to withstand hail greater than 2.5 inches. D, increased peace of mind. Or E, A, and C, the property rates and the big hail. Or F, B and D, the wind resistance and the peace of mind. So what letter are you going to tell us, Benny?
Well, first off, the operative word, the key clue here is definitely.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And we have to go with F, in my humble opinion.
Oh, my gosh. He is just, whoa. He's just too smart for me, Benny.
No, this time I didn't need a little crutch support from our good host, Rick Allen. And I thank you for that most humbly, sir.
Well,
I put that to good use last week.
You know, it's really funny because I wrote this and what I wrote does not have definitely in it. And Rick said, don't you think we need to put definitely in here? And
yeah, because it would have left it wide open.
It would have left it wide open. And obviously the definitely that we cannot tell you is that you will get a reduced property insurance rate. We cannot tell you that. That is between you and your insurance companies and what
things change over time
and what they file with OID and how they go to market. And I'll tell you right now, every insurance company does not have a fortified roof filing at this moment, is my understanding.
Yeah. So. Well, I got a nice break on last year's renewal of my homeowner's policy, but I got hammered on the one coming up. By God, which I need to talk with you when you have some free time this month.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey,
somewhere around mid-month if you don't have too much going on.
All right. Hey, Benny, stay on the line. Tell Randy what gift you
I know. He wants another gift card.
He wants that gift card. I know you do.
Yeah,
So
we
stay
got
on
his
the line.
address. So
and
I am a
let me,
tool junkie.
and let me just say, Benny, I think you're one real smart feller.
You know what? This is like
nobody has a problem with their own.
This is like $20 a week for Benny. I mean, this is found money, man.
Hey, I gotta it's either that or go back to work part time.
See you later, buddy.
Benny,
Thanks for
thanks a
calling.
lot.
Benny.
Oh my. And I don't know. I don't think that disclaimer that he read had anything to do with using language like that on the radio, Scotty. So,
Boy, if you can't say fart on the radio in Oklahoma, in America, then we're in deep trouble.
Oh my.
All right.
My.
So,
good old Benny.
Oh man.
Before we put Scotty up on the roof,
Yeah,
because I got to get Randy off the phone here,
Yeah.
so he can push a button. Tell me about this fortified evaluator that you had given me a note for.
Fortified.
Yeah, on your notes to talk about this week, you wrote fortified evaluator.
Okay, let me look at my note right. Oh, I do know what that's all about. And
Okay, do you want to share?
Yeah, I will share. So we have, the fortified evaluator's role. At the end of the day, the evaluator is collaborating with a contractor to make sure that that roof gets designated to fortified high wind and hail designation.
Okay.
That consumer receives that designation and that the contractor gets paid the money from the grant program. All right. So we have a couple of situations this week where we have a couple of roofs where I am the evaluator. One, a young man from a different part of the state calls and he says that he wants to build the roof yesterday. So we had made arrangements to have one of my folks there taking the photographs and making sure that everything's exactly the way it needed to be. I don't have to physically do that, but I have to review all of that, package it up, Carly does, to send to IBHS for
and
audit.
just to be clear, you're a third party.
Third party, hired by the consumer.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Third
homeowner.
Exactly. Hired by the consumer.
And a different roofing company is the contractor.
A different roofing company is the contractor. That is correct. Well, as it turns out, this is the young man's first fortified installation. He called Thursday night late, said, looks like we might have rain Friday morning. I'm going to postpone the job. Can we do it on Saturday? We graciously explained to him that we were not available on Saturday for any number of reasons, and he insisted that he was probably going to build the roof himself without us there. So I wrote him a very strongly worded email yesterday morning that said, we have had situations where roofers have had to remove roofs or redo roofs. I don't want you to find yourself in that situation. I would suggest that you try to work with us to find a time where we can be present. This is your first one. Let's get it right.
This is the contractor.
That's the contractor.
And just to be, if I understand this whole process,
yes.
If he doesn't have your documentation,
the roof will not be designated.
Exactly.
Okay. So it is the designation is as critical to this process. I mean, the documentation is as critical to this process as the work that is actually being done. And if you fail any of the documentation points, you either have to go back and remove something to be able to obtain that documentation, and if you cannot do that, you literally are having to tear things off and replace, okay? So that's number one. So in the second circumstance, we have a contractor who is very, very versed in IBHS Fortified, has in fact been involved in the Fortified program for, we'll talk about it when we come back, Randy.
Well, we're up against a hard break.
I
Don't
understand.
blame him.
I understand, because that is an important story. We will talk.
We'll finish this story, and Scotty will get you up on the roof to see your view when we come back. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. We'll be back after the news.
In times like these, you need a strong voice that stands for freedom. That's what we do with 100,000 watts of power. We're the new Freedom 96.9 and freedom969.com. Freedom
weather. Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. This afternoon will be mostly sunny, pleasant, and less humid with a high of 75. A beautiful start to the weekend. Tonight, expect clear skies early, then increasing clouds with a low of 57. Tomorrow will bring plenty of clouds in the morning, then times of sun and clouds in the afternoon, reaching a high of 80. On Monday, anticipate sun through high clouds with a high of 81. Tuesday will be breezy in the morning, otherwise mostly sunny with a high of 84. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the second half of this morning's live radio show on Freedom 96.9. Our number to call if you want to talk to these guys, 405-608-4377. On this date in 1839, the Cherokee Nation united and ratified the Constitution in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. And then on this date in 1866, Frederick Douglass became the first black delegate to a national convention in the U.S. And you know, we have a high school in Oklahoma City named Frederick Douglass High School.
You.
Okay.
1839.
Yeah.
What year did Oklahoma become a state?
1907. In fact, the Oklahoma Constitution was modeled after the Cherokee Constitution. They just changed a couple of words.
Yeah,
they plagiarized it and called it their own work.
So
imagine that. We once again
lots of examples of that.
Exploited, yeah. There was no collaboration.
Okay, so back to our fortified evaluator. And
So
let's
when we last left our contract, our intrepid contractor, he was going to get started on this morning, whether whether you had documenters there or not.
And we still don't know about that.
Okay.
So we don't know if he got smart, or we don't know if he just decided to proceed. So we
informed him yesterday.
We will find out. Okay. So then I have another contractor who has been doing fortified for years and years and years. Okay. Tells us they've been doing fortified for at least 10 or 12 years. So really, maybe not wanting a lot of help, maybe kind of almost not wanting us involved in the process at all. And so we kind of took a hands-off approach. That's fine. Everybody needs to understand this. The contractor that you select is responsible for building your roof to the designated standards, okay? They are also responsible to documenting their build to the requirements of the evaluator and IBHS audit teams.
Right.
So your contractor is responsible to you, consumer. I, as an evaluator, feel an obligation to the consumer, to the contractor, to IBHS, and to OID. Okay. I need
the state insurance department.
I need this all to work out to where everyone gets what they're supposed to get.
Right.
Okay. Carly starts reviewing the photographs. We ask everyone to send us their photographs as they begin their build. She starts reviewing the photographs. Said, Dad, there's stuff going on here.
Uh-oh.
So I'm looking at the photographs. We start sending text messages and calling the office and leaving voicemails, and finally starting to follow up with emails and a couple of conversations midday. Hey, we've got some issues. We'll take care of everything. We understand what your concerns are. Well, end of the day, we're still not seeing the photos that those things have been taken care of. So I go out and look at the job, and there are a number of things that are not the way they need to be. And we basically make the phone calls and reach out to everyone that we can and say, hey, you need to stop proceeding until you go back and fix everything that needs to be fixed. And at the last words, and confirmed in an email, is that I want you to understand that with the photo documentation that I have right now, this roof will not be designated IBHS fortified high wind and hail roof. It's your obligation. It's your responsibility. The documentation is on you. That's where we are.
And the bottom line here, when it comes to the homeowner, the consumer, the insured, if they're putting a fortified roof on in hopes of, with the anticipation of getting a big discount on their homeowner's insurance.
Well, they're looking for the discount.
As well as having a better roof.
They're looking for the discount. They're looking for the protection. They're looking for the peace of mind. And they're assuming, as homeowners always do, that the contractor is doing everything correctly.
Right.
All right. And in this case, what I don't want consumers assuming is that the evaluator is in control of this. The evaluator is not in control of this. The evaluator has done his job in determining your eligibility to even enter into the process, okay? And the evaluator is going to do his job in terms of submitting the documentation provided by the contractor to IBHS audit team for designation. That's the evaluator's role.
Right.
The evaluator's role is not to make sure that your roof gets designated. That is your contractor's role. All right?
Okay.
And I want the consumers to understand that the contractor's the one who is responsible for building to the standard and for documenting that they have built to the standard. And there are 15, 20, 30 things that you have to have documented with a tape measure, with multiple photographs in multiple areas of the roof, showing that not just one little area of the roof was done correctly, the entire roof was done correctly. And if you can't provide those photographs, if I don't provide those photographs to the audit team, the roof will not be designated. So I've put this contractor on notice that with the documentation you have provided right now, I can assure you that this roof will not be designated by IBHS audit team.
And then is the homeowner involved?
I can't get involved with the homeowner.
Okay.
I cannot. That is not my.
Okay.
That's not my client in terms of that construction project. Okay. I can't go behind the contractor because he's under contract with the homeowner. I can't go behind his back and tell the homeowner what I have told him. Now, this is all new to us, so I have spoken with some of my evaluator friends who have been doing this for 15 years on the Gulf Coast, and they have told me that at the point in time where I have more of the documentation and know that what the result is going to be, that I should at that point notify OID grant coordinator, and the grant coordinator can go directly to the consumer and tell them what is going on. I cannot do that.
Because right now in Oklahoma, the Department of Insurance has a grant program authorizing up to $10,000 to certain homeowners in certain zip codes to fortify their roofs.
That's
and so
correct.
This homeowner is counting on getting upwards of $10,000 to cover the cost of this fortified. And if this contractor is not building to those standards, then IBHS won't designate the roof, and the
OID then will not release the funds. But let me tell you, those funds do not go to the homeowner. Those funds do not go to the consumer. Those funds go directly in the bank account or a check written to the contractor. Okay, so the contractor's the one who will be out the $10,000. The homeowner will not be out anything.
Well, that's good
except that they will not have gotten what they bought.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, in that way they will, but
yes, but they will not be out the 10. It's not like the homeowner is going to write that $10,000 check in place of OID. The contractor simply is not going to get paid that money.
But the homeowner then won't have the
Won't have all
designation
the benefits.
for the insurance benefits.
Won't have all the benefits.
What do you think the main issue was? Was it the crew? Was it a crew issue where the crew was cutting corners that the contractor didn't know about, or they just for some reason they deviated from their own normal practices on a fortified roof?
Scotty, I can't tell you what it is. I can tell you that
because if the contractor's been doing fortified for many years or several years, you would think they know everything about it.
Let's move on because we got to get Scotty up on the roof.
Absolutely.
And hang on, Scotty. Hang on. Oh, no, not again. Okay.
Those are real sound effects, by the way.
So today's Scotty's View from the Rooftop is called Do What You Do Best and Don't Worry About the Rest.
That's right. It sounds a little preachy and maybe philosophical in a way, but I'll get right into it. Johnny and I inspected a roof out in the West Metro earlier this past week, and this property is set on a beautiful piece of land with a private lake, multiple outbuildings, cabin style, rustic. And then when you walk in, after we met and greeted the customer out front, he brought us inside because unfortunately he has some water damage. He has some leaking. But when we walked into his entry foyer, oh my gosh, you look up in the ceiling, everything is tongue and groove cedar, all timbers. Even the stabilizing, the lateral supports for the structure are sawn timber.
So it's post and beam construction.
Yes,
essentially,
yes, and
it's
elaborate.
Just, it sounds
it's
like.
one of the most elaborate, intricate, rustic style homes I've ever been in, and it's gorgeous. Unfortunately, then he walked us over to his. I mean, he's got. The craftsmanship in this house is impeccable on the inside. He walks us over to that's important because in a minute you'll see why I said that.
Yeah, get us there.
He walks us to his over by his beautiful baby grand piano. Right above that, just aside, that is a group of 3 skylights and his wood-burning stove, which are all very nice, of course. Jump to our roof inspection. It's a 14 and 12 and 12 and 12 metal roof. So it's very slippery, very steep. I had to harness off. Johnny was spotting me. I scaled down the steep slope to inspect that chimney flue pipe and the 3 skylights. And lo and behold, even on my way down, I see, oh gosh, what is that? Well, long story short, the contractor who he hired to do the expansion project on his home also contracted to redo the roof at the same time, which was necessary because he raised the roof, changed the pitch, added on. It was most efficient to do those things in conjunction in the same project. But I have doubts about how much this contractor knew about roofing, because I believe their expertise, as our client has stated, was on the interior part of things, which is the reason he has such beautiful woodworking and beautiful craftsmanship in the construction and the addition, the kitchen and the bath projects that he did. Everything is gorgeous on the inside. But guess what protects all those things? The roof. And there are some substandard conditions on the roof.
Oh, my.
So do what you do best and let someone else do the rest.
Well, and you know, I think this is a great place where we say, you know, roofs are the number one weather shedding system in every structure.
Right.
And you need to you want the best roofer, just like you want the best contractor, the best cabinet maker, the best painter, the best stonemason.
Right.
You want the best roofer. You don't just want your general contractor's roofer.
Right.
All right? And the degree of knowledge about roofs in terms of building codes and standards and systems and installation is next to none. It's next to none.
Right.
So you need to find the people who are the most proficient people in a marketplace to be dealing with that most important weather shedding system in your structure.
Yep.
You spend all that money on that beautiful, beautiful structure, and you have a roof that won't keep the elements out of it. What do you have? A mess.
A big oops.
Yeah.
And of course, these leaks are on things that leak all the time for a lot of people on a lot of different applications. But again, they're simple to fix, very costly to fix, and it would have been better to do them all the right way the first time.
When you're talking about a 12 and 12 or a 14 and 12 metal roof, there should not the only details that matter on that roof are the flashing details at the penetrations. There should never be water in a roof of that type, ever.
Well, I can change a tire, but you don't want me rebuilding your engine. I'll just put it in those terms. We'll be back for the final segment of today's live program, McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Last call for your call, 405-608-4377. If you have a question for these guys, give us a call. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. One was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live program on Freedom 96.9. You can also hear us on freedom969.com. We're also on the YouTube channel, on our own McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel. On this date, in 1901, U.S. President William McKinley was shot and assassinated by an anarchist while visiting Buffalo, New York. Long time ago. 1916, the first true supermarket, the Piggly Wiggly, was established in Memphis, Tennessee. Piggly Wiggly.
I played baseball for the Piggly Wiggly Piggies when I was a little boy.
So Elvis and Piggly Wiggly, the two greatest things ever to come out of Memphis, Tennessee.
And one thing you knew you could get at Piggly Wiggly was peanut butter.
Okay, so in our final segment, we will get to the after the storm tip, but what's this I hear about? The question is not what does it cost, but it's what protection does it afford?
Well, let's back up a little bit above that. So let's the coming storm, and this is what I want. This is what I want consumers, everyone out there, to understand. And we've had Chris Meredith in, candidate for insurance commissioner, and we talk about some of the things that are going on behind the scenes with the insurance carriers, and obviously everybody understands the rate structure, the high price of property insurance in Oklahoma. We understand the convective storms. We talked last week about the $27 billion storms that occurred in the United States in 2023. So everyone understands that the coming storm really is the storm that is the availability and the affordability of property insurance. All right. The property insurance industry is going to find ways to quit paying to replace roofs as a result of high wind and hail. Okay. They're going to find ways to do that. That's going to be by exclusion. That's going to be by limiting endorsements. That's going to be by maybe not having ordinance or law coverage. That's going to be by actual cash value policies instead of replacement cost policies. It's going to be roof payment schedules and things of that type, up to the point where all of a sudden they say, we simply are not going to write insurance on roofs. That is the coming storm.
Ouch.
So if that is the coming storm, the whole mindset and mentality of both consumers and the insurance restoration and roofing industries needs to shift. There has to be a paradigm shift. It has to go from commodifying roofing, dumbing it down. It has to go from that to the mindset of we're saving lives and we're protecting property. And the only people that are going to be able to have availability of the best insurance coverages at the most reasonable premiums will be people who build better, who fortify, or who install systems roofs to help the insurance companies. You have to collaborate, okay?
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Our
This
word of the
is
week.
going to have to be consumers and agents and brokers and producers and insurance carriers and roofing contractors and restoration contractors are going to have to collaborate to create solutions that involve reducing and mitigating risk for the insurance carriers. Okay? So instead of asking yourself, what does it cost? The question should be, what does it afford when you start talking about building better roofs? We talked about the trivia question, all the things potentially that building better can afford you.
Right.
All of those things, okay, really comes down to the question of what is the value that I place on the protection of my family, of my home and property, of everything that is in it. What is that value? And I got to say that most of us are going to say, well, that's the most important thing in the world to me. Those are the most important things
Sure.
in the world to me.
Right.
And so understand that you have a role to play in this collaboration to mitigate risk, to maintain your property, to make sure that everything is taken care of, to document when you do repairs or when you replace a roof. Everything is documented in a way that your agent, broker, producer, your insurance carrier have all that information, and now they know exactly what's going on year after year after year on your roof. They're no longer guessing. They're not dumbing it down to a zip code and averaging everything out. The insurance industry has proven to themselves that that does not work. They know that they need better data. They know that their underwriting and their risk selection process has to change. They need actual conditions on top of that roof. Every 10-year-old roof, a 10-year-old roof is not a 10-year-old roof, is a 10-year-old roof. That's the way the insurance industry looks at it.
Right.
Okay? We've been on roofs that we installed 18, 17 years ago in Oklahoma that looked like the day I installed them. Okay? They were premium products, installed correctly and properly ventilated. And they have stood up to, performed in everything that Oklahoma's weather has thrown at them. Okay, so to say that a 10-year-old roof's 10-year-old roof, we won't write RCV or we're going to cancel you or we're going to non-renew you, doesn't make any sense. Insurance industry needs the actual data from that roof, and that's where we're going. And consumers need to cooperate in that process. Consumers need to invest in that process. Consumers need to make sure that they're maintaining their properties, and consumers need to build better when the opportunity presents itself to build better.
Okay.
So to summarize, cheap isn't cheap.
Well, let's squeeze in our after the storm tip before we run out of time today.
After the storm or before the storm, get a qualified inspection and figure out what your roof looks like, especially if it's been more than a couple years since the last time you had it inspected by a credentialed inspector. Someone who's not just in the neighborhood doing work and trying to get on your rooftop.
So we talk about all the time, a free inspection is may not be free. It may actually cost you money. You need a qualified roof inspection, and that qualified roof inspection is by someone that has those credentials and knows what that damage or that situation is on your roof and can write a scope of work for your repairs if necessary.
And that roof inspection you can get from Roof RX, 405-877-7663. As we wrap up, S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. Okay, Scott, Dad's wisdom.
Well, and this kind of applies to my little roofing buddies this week. So you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink.
This has been episode number 23 of McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. Thank you, Scott McCullum. Thank you, Scotty McCullum. Thank you, On Probation Retro Radio, Randy.
Thanks, Benny, for getting it right.
Yeah, Benny, you got it right. We will see you folks next week.
Have a
good
great
weekend.
week, everybody.